and thanks for staying with us. The Nigerian Customs Service continues to sell rice to members of the public. Also on Customs Report, the city speaks on custom activities in Nigeria. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Idine. Stay tuned. The Customs Management has continued to implement President Bola Tinubu food program security in the country. The CG continues to distribute 25 kg bags of rice to Nigerians at the cost of 10,000 naira only. Some of the buyers has this to say.
Got this policy to help those who are indigent people. As you know, the situation in our country, people are hungry. It's not been easy. So that's why we've been asked to come and get something to help those who are in need. I want to say just appreciate the donor. Appreciate them for this kind gesture.
It's a good movement. It's a good movement. At least this thing, I think, all these items will reduce the hardship in the country.
Good program, and we pray to Almighty Allah that they should help us in this country.
The CG also took time off to engage them on how to purchase the products and tell them not to sell them into public market.
How we are starting, and we believe that if we continue this way, it will gradually help to reduce suffering in the land. Now we want to beg you that what we are asked to do is to do direct allocation. But from what we are seeing outside, we know how difficult it is for us to handle direct allocation. This is why we have requested associations like yours, groups like yours, that have structures, so that we can use the structures to get across to people. We are not going to ask you to swear to anything that it will get to the intended people, but we can only build on your trust and the fact that you want to partner with us to get these things to those who need it. So we will count on your support. We will count on the trust that we have with you, that as men of God, as women of God, as people with conscience, it will get to your members. You can know, if you see these are people who are taking care of our roads, for example, and we believe that we should take care of them. We have our immediate stakeholders, those who assist us in getting things cleared in the courts. We have artisans amongst you. We have our landlords, our tenants in the areas where we do our operations. So our intention is that this should get across to them. It might not go round at this stage, but I can promise you that if we get it right through your structures, we can always build on it and do more with time. Now, we are also going to monitor the distribution in your various places. We have the structure that we can use to monitor how this is distributed. We don't want any rancor. We don't want this rice to create any problems internal within you. And let me say this very, very strongly. We don't want this in any market. We don't want it resold in any means. I want to believe that all of you here, by the grace of God, you can have 4 bags of rice by yourself. So what we want to do is that we want to use it to, address the problems that we have at hand. Please don't let this be resold by any means. And like I warned yesterday, if we see more than one bag in any location, if we see more than one bag stocked in any location, it will be assumed that it has been resold and repurchased. And we will have all the rights to pounce on such a place. We will arrest, we will confiscate, and we will investigate how it gets to you. I implore you that this exercise that we are doing is meant to create relief for us. We don't want you to suffer because you are collecting a 25 kilogram of bags of rice. And the way we can do it is if we are orderly. We need you to remain orderly. I can assure you that if we have a straight line here and here, we will be bringing you in tens, groups of tens, and it will be fast. It will be fast. So once you have your money and you are in queue, we will be bringing you in orderly. I want you to trust us. I want you to believe in us that we will do it and everybody will get by the grace of God. But we don't want anybody to be trampled upon here.
It will be recalled that the Nigerian Customs Service (NCS), on the directive of Mr. President, announced the commencement of a noble intervention aimed at alleviating the hardships faced by Nigerians and improving access to essential food items through direct disposal of seized edible goods, condemned in competent court of law and certified fit for consumption by relevant government agencies. Consequently, a pilot exercise was conducted on Friday, 23 February 2024 at NCS Old Zonal Headquarters, Yaba, Lagos State. The exercise was conducted following meticulous planning to address all potential risks that may emerge during the exercise. As part of our process and control measures, we had Nigerian police and military personnel to ensure crowd control. We also fully equipped a medical team on ground in anticipation of potential risk during an exercise of that magnitude. Their presence was part of our proactive approach to ensuring the safety and well-being of all participants. The disposal of the food items got off to a smooth start at about 800 hours. We enjoyed the cooperation of the large crowd that obliged us, giving preferences to the elderly, people living with disabilities, pregnant women, and other vulnerable Nigerians who showed up for the exercise. This was the case up until about 1700 hours, as attested to by the over 5,000 beneficiaries and members of the press. However, unforeseen challenges arose when we ran out of stock and announced the continuation of the exercise the following day, leading to a regrettable outcome. The crowd became desperate and charged through our barricades in search of rice bags inside emptied containers. In the stampede that ensued, some fatalities and injuries were regrettably recorded. The Nigerian Customs Service extends its heartfelt condolences to the families of those who lost their lives during the unfortunate incident. Our thoughts and prayers are with the affected families during this challenging time, and we assure them of our unwavering support. We are working with hospital authorities to establish contact and engage directly with the victims' families on their next steps. Following this incident, an internal investigation was initiated to understand the circumstances surrounding these unfortunate events. As a service deeply committed to the welfare and safety of Nigerians, considering the recent unfortunate events, we regrettably announce the suspension of this exercise until we establish what transpired on Friday, 23 February 2024. This should help us to properly articulate more robust and comprehensive action that will not defeat the noble intention. We appreciate the understanding and cooperation of all Nigerians as we work towards addressing the challenges facing our nation's food security. Apapa Customs collects outstanding 16 billion naira daily revenue as Comptroller Jayoba urges sincere declaration.
We were able to generate 1.172 trillion naira. That's 1,172,414,793,000 naira and 60 naira 32 kobo. And that figure represents the highest collection in the history of Upper so far. What we met when we came in was 1.02 trillion. And we were able to achieve this. But it's also significant to note that in the month of October, we had over 145 billion naira collection. That was also the highest monthly collection in the history of Upper Command so far. And I said that was not enough. In the month of November, we had a daily, one single day collection of 11.3 billion. That also marked another first, because the highest so far collected in the history of this command was 10 billion naira. But on that single day, we collected 11.3 billion. This collection is as a result of our resolve to facilitate legitimate trade. When we came on board, we engaged all the stakeholders, knowing fully well that we need to get their confidence for them to be able to bring in their cargo through Apapa. And not only that, to also ensure that we facilitate their trade and reduce their clearance time. And I've always maintained an open door policy, and that also assisted us a lot. As many of them that ask issue, we accommodate them and we look at their issue, and that built their confidence. And that was why we were able to record that. Hoping that this year we're going to improve on what we did last year.
All right, sir. Then the issue of the seizure. What was the seizure like last year?
Last year we had 54 seizure. Value, with DPV value of over 22 billion, naira 22.847 billion. But it's significant to also know that within the same period last year, there was a seizure of tramadol, 225 milligram. We all know that it's not as if tramadol is banned, but the highest dose should be 100 milligram. This high dosage of tramadol are actually what they use to destroy our youth. And due to intelligence, we're able to secure, we're able to secure the seizure, which we handed over to NDLA last month, in December last month, I think 10th of December, if I'm right. And we handed over 719 cartons of tramadol, valued. The target for 2024 is 1.847 trillion. That's about 1.9 trillion naira. And when you look at that, compared to what we realized last year, you discover that it's a very tall order. But like I told my officers, even before target was given, I told them, I don't expect anything less than 1.8 trillion to be given to Apapa. We have the capacity to do it, and we're prepared to do it. And I told them, what we need to do is to look at the gaps that existed the previous years and bridge those gaps. And we started on that. Towards the end of last year, I formed what I call strategic revenue team, made up of all 8 of key terminals. And we meet. Initially, when I resumed duty, because of the backlog of revenue that we need to cover, then we meet every day, 10 to 11, strategize on what we do for the day. But as time goes by, we reduce it to 3. Presently, we meet twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. What we do is to review what happened in between and form our strategy for the days ahead. And that has yielded a lot of advantages, in the sense that we now speak with a voice. See, whether I'm there or not, they know my mind. Because we jointly decide on what to do. We argue it out, and we advance reason, and once we agree that this is how we're going to approach it, all of us go out to approach it. So what happened in Papa warfare is exactly what happened in all the terminals under Papa, because they are all carried along and they know our mindset. So with that, we've bridged all the gaps, and we can show that the required revenue will be collected at the end of the year.
Yeah, with the increase in revenue. Participants at the just concluded World Customs Day in Lagos have continued to speak more on the service as approved by the government. This is that the Nigerian Customs Service is the first time they will bring an event like this to Lagos. According to them, the Nigerian Customs Service will continue to grow in all aspects of development.
I stand for intelligence. So in NIMASA, we usually say communication, collaboration, cooperation, and coordination among the players. But I saw one item singled out from the NIMASA's 4 C's, which is I, innovation. This is the first time I am attending this kind of gathering in the last, I think, one decade by Nigerian Customs. They do it, but they don't reach out. Their protocol list, I think, doesn't reach out most of the agencies. Nigerian Port Authority, they are partners in progress. Nigerian Shippers Council, as my former slave, you said that we are partners in progress. So this is the first time NIMASA is here. And I want to thank you so sincerely for expanding your mailing list to NIMASA. And I want to say that I congratulate you for this day and wish to mention that despite the economic hardship, we continue to see improvement in particular area of revenue generation.
The theme for this year's conference is very apt, and it represents the very interest upon which this government of today is working towards developing the economy. The days when we all work in silos has not achieved so much desired results. It is high time for us to work together in fostering partnerships that will move us closer to achieving our desired results.
Indeed, a noble event, seeing the efforts that the customs is putting together, especially to better the operation at the ports and also to enhance trade, which is one of the most important mandates of the custom, talking about trade facilitation.
You are watching the program Customs Report. Nigerian Customs Service has seized a truckload of 5,000 beauty soap from smugglers operating in northern aspects of the country. The soap was made in Indonesia and being smuggled into the country through the unapproved route from the Niger Republic. The coordinator of Joint Border Patrol Team in charge of Northwest Zone said Nigerian Customs Service will continue to seize any consignment not approved by government. He said that smugglers' action undermine the economic development of the country. He speaks more on a number of issues.
We're here this morning to showcase part of our ongoing efforts in anti-smuggling and enforcement of border closure compliance. As you all know, the entire border of Northwest with the Niger Republic is closed against human traffic, vehicular or any other things, including cows or chicken. So when we see you or we see any other items being trying to exit or coming in, we pick it. And in JBBT, Sector 4, we relied mostly on intelligence. So this morning I want to show you this seizure of this arrested truck suspected to contain uncustomed goods based on credible intelligence that we received. It came in from our neighboring country. It's not necessarily need to be in truck because we monitor our main exit and entry points of the border 24/7. But what they do from our preliminary investigation is they always bring it in small pieces, like a motorbike or using cows, camels, or carriage. Then they will dump it at a designated location as they enter. Then and mostly at times they use even bike on all these bush paths. So, and when they are ready to carry their illicit, to move these drugs, these goods, they will now pack it into a truck, in a trailer, for onward transfer to their destination. But we are always there, we monitor them. Sometimes they take it to as far as Yobe, Gendan, and take it out if they want to do export. Sometimes they bring it in. But our physical examination of this truck now will be able to reveal what the content is. Because on hearing that our operatives were around, they diverted this particular truck. In fact, this truck was intercepted based on a very cogent intelligence provided by the Office of the Controller General of Customs. And at the end of the day, we intercepted it at Danladi Gume Primary School, where it was hidden in the Jigawa State on 5th of February 2024. And it was brought here. And that's what we want to unveil now. We want to see the contents.
The President of Customs Officer's wife, who is also the wife of the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service, has been speaking on COA activities in the country. According to her, COA program will enable officers' wives to learn more about other aspects of customs program in the country.
Of the Board of Trustees and Executive of the Nigerian Customs Officers' Wives Association, COA, we welcome you all to the relaunch of our association and NGO. This relaunch ceremony also offers us the opportunity to bring the activities of COA to the fore, to perform the investiture of our new patrons and patronesses, and raise funds in support of our activities in support of the needy in our society. For the benefit of those who might not know us very well, please permit me to talk briefly about our association, COA. The Customs Officers' Wives Association, COA, is a not-for-profit organization set up on the 13th August 2009 to promote the welfare of the families of customs officers and foster the bond of friendship, unity, and understanding among the wives of officers. As part of our mandate, we extend support to the widows and children of fallen customs officers, and as well the less privileged people in the society. The members of COA are wives of serving officers from the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Customs, ASC2. COA is not just another association created for the sake of having one of such women's group. It was set up as an NGO to touch lives in meaningful and impactful manner. Our primary drive is to build relationships, partnerships, and friendships that support the nurturing of healthy communities, to alleviate poverty, create jobs, and support the economic empowerment of our members through initiatives that promote prosperity and economic opportunities. Since we came on board, we have identified many challenges facing the families of customs officers. These challenges include lack of decent housing for custom officers serving in remote border areas with their family, lack of access to decent and affordable schools for the children of customs officers serving in remote areas, need to economically empower the spouses of custom officers across the country, and a compelling need to launch an effective campaign against drug abuse across customs barracks to protect our youth from the potential harm and danger associated with the consumption of illicit drugs. While we commend the federal government and the management of the Nigerian Customs Service for their unflinching commitment to the welfare of custom officers serving in various parts of the country, we are convinced that efforts and initiatives by well-meaning Nigerians to support the government in providing decent accommodation for customs officers and their families in remote border areas will go a long way in boosting the morale of these officers and enhancing the fight against smuggling. In light of this, and in the course of this year, COA plans to explore ways of supporting these categories of officers and their families in their areas of primary assignments.
Just before I round up this week's edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where the Nigerian Customs Service continue to sell 10 kg bag of rice to Nigerians who wishes to pay 10,000 naira per bag. For me, Igiseme Itinye. Thanks for watching.